I'm going to tell you something I've never said publicly before. I wasted 10 years of my career, and it's not because I was lazy, it's not because I wasn't talented, and it's not because I didn't work hard. It's because I trusted the wrong person to tell my story, and by the time I figured it out, unfortunately, the damage was already done. You see, early in my career, I took a stable job, it was a good company, it was a good paycheck, and there was a key promise that they made. And the promise is that I was going to be groomed to take over my boss's job, executive level role in roughly 18 months. He was going to be retiring. And they said, "We feel that you're the person that can do it." And naive me, I actually believed them. Sure enough, that 18 months came and went. Then it turned into 2 years, then 3 years. And every time I brought it up, there was a new reason why I wasn't ready. There was a new gap that I needed to fill, something new that I needed to prove. And 5 years in, I found myself sitting in the same exact seat that I was when I started. And here's the thing about 5 years of that: it's very sneaky, doesn't break you dramatically. Instead, it breaks you slowly over time, very quietly, and you almost don't even recognize it. You see, in my case, I found myself not pushing as hard because the pushing just wasn't working. The paycheck kept on coming in, life was pretty comfortable, all things considered, but somewhere in there, you stop fighting for the career that you came to build, and you just kind of start existing with the one that you have. And before we get deeper into the story, I do want to mention that today's video is sponsored by Scribe. More on them in a little bit. Now, in order for this story to make sense, I do have to talk a little bit about my boss. He was difficult. He had a pretty big ego. He often berated me. And not only would he do it behind closed doors, but he would also criticize me in front of others, and often in very public settings. And looking back with the benefit of hindsight, I actually realized now that it was never really about me. It was actually more about him being scared, about his entire identity being wrapped up in that title, in that office, in that particular role. And the thought of stepping aside and retiring, becoming somebody without that job, that was something that absolutely terrified him. His entire existence was identified with that position. Now, I don't say this to humiliate him, because I actually do have a healthy respect for him. And no, may not sound like it, but he's done a lot in my career and has shaped a lot of what I talk about on this channel. But I say it because I need you to understand something. His assessment of me, that I wasn't capable, I wasn't quite ready yet, I needed more seasoning, it actually had nothing to do with my own readiness or my own ability. And it had everything to do with his own fear of becoming irrelevant. But I didn't know that then. And more importantly, I let him be the only voice telling my story to the people above him. And that was my real mistake. Here's something that nobody tells you early enough in your career. If one person controls the narrative about you to leadership or to the people who actually make the decisions, your performance almost becomes irrelevant. You can be exceptional but invisible at the same time, if that makes sense. You see, I was doing good work. I was doing real things. I was impacting the bottom line, stuff that I still have on my resume today, work that actually mattered, and people who actually appreciated what I was doing. But they weren't the right level of people that I needed to really impress. But my boss was the filter between me and anybody who could have done anything about my career and unsticking it. And his message was consistently, he's just not the guy. He's not ready. And I hadn't built up enough of my own reputation, my own relationships, my own visibility with the people above him to successfully counter that narrative. And so his assessment of me stuck with the people who actually made the decisions. And this is where I want to talk about what I should have done all those years. And the easy solution would have been, well, you should just quit your job. And maybe in hindsight, I should have. But quitting really wasn't an option. I couldn't just walk out. I had bills to pay. I had responsibilities. I had mouths to feed. And frankly, the market wasn't something that I could walk into with a bunch of confidence, because I'd let all my momentum stall. But what I should have been doing all along was building my reputations independently of my boss, not allowing him to be the filter, building relationships with people above him and across the organization, building relationships with people outside of my organization, building systems and processes that had my name on it in a way that he couldn't take credit for or erase. Because trust me, he did that a lot. And ultimately, I should have been making my value visible very clearly to people that he couldn't control. Because here's the truth. A manager can hold back your title, they can hold back your raise, they can filter your name out of promotion conversations, but a manager can't unbuild what you've already made visible to the broader organization. And that's actually what today's sponsor, Scribe, helps you do. One of the smartest moves you can make, especially when you're in a stable role, is to make your work impossible to overlook, not just by your manager, but by everybody who's impacted and sees what you build. And Scribe lets you do that without it taking over your life. And here's how it works. You install the Chrome extension, you hit the record button, and then you just do your job. Scribe captures what you're doing, automatically builds a step-by-step guide for what you just did. Captures everything, what you see, what you click, what you type, screenshots, instructions, every keystroke. All of it is generated in seconds without you having to write a single word. You can customize it. You can add your branding. You can hide anything sensitive. You can share it instantly. You can send a link. You can export it as a PDF. You can embed it wherever your team already works. And if I need to update something in the guide, well, it automatically updates for everybody who has access. There's no need to reshare it. And one of my favorite features is Guide Me. Instead of handing somebody a document and hoping that they figure it out, Guide Me actually walks them through each step directly on their screen inside the actual tool. It's all interactive. It's click by click. Now, if I'd been using something like this during those years, my footprint would be all over everything the organization relied on, everything that I had set up and everything that my boss took credit for. Over 5 million people are already using Scribe. So head over to scribe.how/a-life-after-layoff or click the link in the description to get started for free and check out Scribe Pro for even more features. Okay, so back to the story. Then one day I got laid off. And I've talked about this extensively on this channel, so if you follow along, you're probably already familiar. But this wasn't about performance. I was never put on a performance improvement plan. There was no warning or anything. It all boiled down to internal politics. They called it a reorganization, but it only affected very few people, and my name was one of them. So I sat there in disbelief with a severance package right in front of me, and I realized I hadn't built anything for myself. No side income streams, no independent reputation outside of the company, no network that I had actively maintained, no momentum on any level that I had built in parallel. I was literally starting over. And I traded 10 years of my prime career years, the years that I was supposed to be making my move. I traded that for a steady paycheck and a promise that was ultimately never kept. Many of you have probably already found this the hard way too, is starting over while unemployed is a very different animal than pivoting while you're still employed and going out on your own terms. There's financial pressures for every decision that you make. You've got people relying on you. You've got a sense of urgency that makes it harder to be strategic. The gap on your resume starts the moment you get laid off, and you can feel this clock ticking in the background, even if it's not really there. Now, it took me a long time, but I actually built something after because I wasn't building during the years when things were kind of easy. So here's what I want you to take away from this. The stable years, if you've been fortunate enough to enjoy them, the comfortable time in your career where the paycheck is predictable and nothing is catastrophically wrong, those are not the years to coast, to take it easy, to not worry about your career. Instead, those are the years to build visibility in your organization independent of your manager, building relationships above and around people who control your ultimate narrative, building skills that belong to you and not to your employer. And if you can, consider building something outside of your job, even if it's small, even if it's slow, even if it's just a little bit. And this was a painful lesson that I learned. Your manager's opinion view is only one data point, so it's crucially important that you make sure that it's not the only one leadership ever receives, because the day may come, and for a lot of people it already has, where the person who's telling your story isn't the one who's telling it accurately. And you haven't built anything independent of them. You have no ability to counter narrative. And ultimately, what I got out of it was wasting 10 of the most valuable years of my career real estate that I can't get back. And then there was some severance check too. Don't be me.